This is how Joe Biden tries to style himself, as champion of American industrial ingenuity and as protector of American interests. But it's creating serious friction with his European allies. The Inflation Reduction Act that Congress passed earlier this year subsidizes green technologies made in the USA, like electric cars, energy-intensive industries, and renewables to the tune of $370 billion. But the European Union is crying foul. Brussels fears that EU companies are being shut out of the US market in a blatant twist of international trade rules.
What we are asking for is fairness. We want and expect European companies and exports to be treated in the same way in the US as American companies and exports are treated in Europe.
The Inflation Reduction Act comes into force in January. It's why a joint EU-US task force has been negotiating possible exemptions for European companies for weeks now. But so far, a deal remains elusive. Experts are more than skeptical that a compromise can be found, given that the US has long thrown free trade principles overboard, and Europe isn't in the strongest of positions.
The last thing we want to do right now, the dumbest thing we can do, is to start a trade war, because we're in a weak position. That's simply the reality. I think there could be a case in a targeted, limited manner to allow a more lenient use of subsidies, public subsidies, towards the green transition, to ensure that it happens as soon as possible and to ensure that European businesses are able to fully compete.
But such European countermeasures are politically dangerous, given that the EU has become heavily dependent on the US when it comes to arming Ukraine and supplying liquefied natural gas to make up for its lost deliveries from Russia. Christopher Pitcher, Euronews, Brussels.